What's up, guys? My name is Stoody. I'd like to welcome you all back to another video. In today's video, I am just talking about my Melbourne trip. As you guys can probably tell, I'm back in Queensland because this is my room in Queensland, but hopefully only a couple more weeks of this bullshit and I'll be back in Melbourne permanently. Just need to find a house and all that sort of thing, which shouldn't take long really because, you know, Melbourne's not severely overpopulated like my shitty town that I live in. So yeah, back to wearing singlets every video because hot as fuck. First day back at work today. I mean, assuming you guys actually get this today. Today is Saturday. So yeah, hot and shitty weather. Apparently it's been raining here for the whole 2 weeks I've been gone. So yeah, you know, the ground was all wet when I walked out of the Sunshine Coast Airport. I was like, what the fuck? Like, seriously, it did not rain at all when I was in Melbourne, and yeah. But anyway, this is my first video back on my main channel as well. I actually forgot about that. So what am I going to title this video? Back on this channel, might as well. Back on this channel, plus my Melbourne trip. I think that's what I'll call it. So yeah, I'm back on this channel. So from now on, every single video will be on this channel. Until the end of time. I mean, I've gained quite a few subscribers since, you know, my channel transfer video on my backup channel. I can't remember exactly how many I'm on, but I believe I'm less than 80 subscribers away from 2,000 now. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Can I get to 2,000 subscribers in the next month or so? That's, I guess, my goal. Can I possibly get there before I officially move down to Melbourne? It's a bit of a stretch, only a couple of weeks or so until then, but it's definitely possible, especially if I do like a live reaction stream, which is there is a slight chance I might be able to do one tonight, but I wouldn't bank on it, that's for sure. And even if I do one tonight, it'll probably end up being the only one I do for the whole year, because when I move down to Melbourne, I will be going to every Richmond Melbourne game, unless I physically cannot go, like for example, if I'm at work, or if it's possibly at a very inconvenient time, such as a night game when I have to start work early the next morning. I won't bother going in that case, but I'll probably still watch on TV and possibly a live reaction if, you know, I'm in a situation to do it. But yeah, if I am able to do a live reaction tonight, hopefully that should get me some new subscribers, because last year that got me so many subscribers. So yeah, it will be good to do a live reaction. Hopefully the live reaction goes the distance, and I'm not turning it off within the first quarter or so. Because I've got another early morning start tomorrow, so I won't be staying up putting up with bullshit, that's for certain. But yeah, I guess we'll start off with me talking about what I plan on doing for the rest of this year on this channel. So I'll probably continue the match reviews. Not that I really enjoy doing them, it's more the fact that they get a lot of views, a lot of attention, and, you know, that's what I want. So that's the whole goal of this channel, the views, the entertainment, the attention. So I'll continue doing them at least for this year, so I can get to over 2,000 subscribers. You know, the tips will continue as usual, though I'm not that passionate about the tips anymore. But I still do them because, you know, they get views. But the main thing I'm passionate about is the Super Coach. I love playing Super Coach. I'm very good at Super Coach now, as you can tell by my rankings the last couple of years. Yeah, I actually really enjoy making the Super Coach videos and doing Super Coach. But the problem is I don't get as many views as I'd like, but still, they're getting better views this year than they did last year. So that's a positive. So hopefully in the next year or two, I can get those views up there. Music video. I did mention before I had to leave this channel that I was going to be doing a music video soon. You know, if I didn't lose this channel, that music video would have happened for sure. But I guess I've decided to postpone it until I got this channel back. Now, I'm wondering, should I quickly get the music video done before I move to Melbourne, or should I move to Melbourne and possibly have AFL YouTubers in the music video? That's what I'm wondering. If, you know, other AFL YouTubers one day would like to hang out and maybe do some shit to be in the music video or something like that. Obviously, it's up to them. They don't have to if they don't want to, but yeah. It's pretty cool to meet other AFL YouTubers. I did meet one in Melbourne, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you guys probably, if you follow this channel, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so it would be cool to have other AFL YouTubers, meet them in real life, and to have them like in my videos, like music videos or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. So I did ask some females if they wanted to be in the music video. I did get 2 females message me about it. So if you're still keen, let me know. But yeah, I'm leaning towards waiting until when I move back to Melbourne to do the music videos. When it comes to the exposed video that I mentioned a couple of months ago, I've decided I'm not going to bother with it because what's the point really? The drama has died down. Well, not 100%, but at least I'm like pretty much not involved in it anymore. Because I don't really want to be involved in that sort of drama anyway. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with it unless it flares up again. I think if the guy's backed off, then I might as well too. But if he does come at me again, then it'll be war. Because some of the things he did are just completely unacceptable. So yeah, basically that's some of my plans. I'll think of other video ideas too. I've had a few, but just haven't really pursued them because of the fact that I haven't had this channel to be able to upload on. So yeah, finishing off on this topic, thank you all for subscribing to my Stoody TV channel and for viewing the videos on that channel. That channel actually went really good, a lot better than I thought it would, so I do 100% appreciate that. And hopefully everyone who has come from that channel, found me from that channel, has come to this channel as well now that I've left that channel. So yeah, let's talk about Melbourne. Now, I went to Melbourne on the Friday, 2 weeks ago. I can't remember the date, but today is Saturday, and I'm talking, this video might actually be up on tomorrow, to be honest. And I'm talking, not last Friday, well, not yesterday, not last Friday, the Friday before. So I flew into Melbourne, all right? Flew in, it was probably about 3:30 or so in the afternoon when I got there. I walked out, and obviously the temperature difference was the main thing. It's like walking into a freezer, walking out of that airplane. It's pretty awkward walking around the airport, the only person not wearing a jumper. I was literally the only person not wearing a jumper. Because I just come from Queensland, and it's not cold in Queensland. So yeah, I was walking around. I had my computer in one hand, this massive fucking bag in the other. And when I was able to stop for a minute, I put a jumper on. First time I'd worn a jumper in 2 years at that point. And, in Melbourne, you can't walk outside without a jumper. It's just too cold, really. Even in April, it's cold. Here, I just got back to Queensland. The weather, it's not absolutely stinking hot right now, but, it's still warmish to the point where you just can't wear a jumper. So, yeah, when I got off the plane, when I came back to Queensland, I had to take the jumper off. So obviously, I had it on because I was in Melbourne, 2.5 hours beforehand. So basically got there on Friday. The first thing I did was go shopping, or not the first thing. So basically, this is a pretty funny story actually. So at the airport, I hired a car, and a shuttle, what do they call it? Shuttle bus was meant to come pick us up. So basically, no one fucking picked up when we rang them. So we ended up getting a taxi, which cost fucking $30-something. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, the taxi prices in Melbourne. It's insane. It was even worse, when we left Melbourne, but, we'll get to that part. And so basically, we went to this car hire place. We went in there, we got the shit done, and while we were, trying to get our car, this Asian, right? The thing about Melbourne, there's a lot of Asians there. The people that you got to look out for, in Melbourne are the Asians. They're the dangerous ones, and the Samoans. They're the real feral ones that are in Melbourne. Whereas, where I live, it's the old cunts that you've got to look out for. They're the real feral and dangerous ones. And then in towns where I used to live, it's the blacks, the Abos. They're the real feral and dangerous ones. They're the ones you got to look out for. So there was an Asian. He wasn't Indian. I'd say he was more like Chinese, Japanese, but he was speaking English on the phone, at least. And he wasn't happy. So basically what happened is that this car hire place gave him a shit car, and he wanted a refund. And I guess they weren't giving it to him. They offered to swap his car for another car, or they were going to call the police. I thought it was hilarious. how they were threatening to call the police on this guy. At first I thought, just typical Asians causing problems, that sort of thing. That's what I thought at first when I was there, but he ended up, swapping the car over or whatever, because obviously he doesn't want to get fucking arrested. Because I don't know what Samoans do to Asians in Melbourne prison, but I don't think the Asians have much of a chance against the Samoans, just saying. But yeah, basically the Asian guy was talking to the, big boss man on the phone because, he didn't get what he wanted at this car place. But basically, I actually reckon the Asian guy was in the right, because when we got into our car, he was a fucking shithole. It really was, I mean, you close the door's just fucking locked on you straight away. And also, it was just really shit to drive. But yeah, got this car and then went to the shops. And the thing about shops in Melbourne, you actually have a decent amount of fucking parking spaces there. Not only that, people actually work in Melbourne, so you don't have all these fucking old bogans walking around the shop in the middle of the day. The shop is, where I live, it's not fucking normal for it to be busy all day. Because, the place is full of old cunts and droggos and just people on the dole. Just lazy fucks. So basically, that's why I want to get out of my shithole town, because, it's just shit. Going to a shop Tuesday at 12 o'clock, it is packed. You go in the shop at 5 o'clock, it's not. It's a bit more quieter, but it's not super quiet. But if you go into a shop in Melbourne at 12 o'clock on a Tuesday, it is really quiet. But if you go into a shop at 5 o'clock, it's a lot more busy, because people are finishing work and they're going shopping after work, sort of thing. So yeah, that's what I love a lot more about Melbourne. It's a lot more normal. You don't have as many fuckheads there. You don't have as many lazy cunts, old cunts, that sort of thing. So yeah, I was loving it. I was definitely loving it. Came home, watched the footy. I can't remember what game was on. I can't remember what game was on that Friday night, but watched the footy, went to bed. Saturday morning, woke up. I can't remember what I did in the morning, but I did do something. I didn't spend that much time in the house. Friday night. Yeah, I made some videos on Friday night as well. Yeah, as you guys would have saw, the first 2 videos in Melbourne were made on that Friday night. Saturday I did something in the morning, can't remember, went somewhere. But then Saturday night was a bit more of a quiet one, just had some beers, watched the footy sort of thing. Thought about going to Carlton Geelong, didn't end up doing it. Because Sunday, we planned on going to the footy. I can't remember what we did on Sunday morning, but yeah, I don't think we did that much. Went to the Hawthorn versus Sydney game. So had to work out the trains and that sort of thing. I still not 100% worked it out. I think I have, worked out how to get to the G from, where I am going to be living, in the northern suburbs of Melbourne. But yeah, I think I can get to the G all good. But I don't know about Marvel, or if I wanted to go somewhere else, would I have to drive through the fucking city? I wouldn't want to do that, because, 1.5 hour fucking drive to get to one part of Melbourne to another is going to be shit. That's for sure. It'd be cheaper and just more convenient to go on a train or something, because I don't want to drive in that sort of shit conditions. My town is shit enough when it comes to traffic and shit drivers, I don't know if I want to put up with that in Melbourne, but we'll wait and see. Would have to do some driving, obviously. Hopefully where I end up working is not going to be too far from where I live. At least within 20 minutes. Hopefully I don't have to go on the fucking highway like you have to do to get to every suburb, at least in the northern suburbs. When I went into the eastern suburbs of Melbourne, it seemed to be a bit more closer together and easier. I went to the footy, with 2 other people. It was a bit of a flogging, kind of a boring game. I did meet a YouTuber there named Carmen22. I was talking to him on Friday and Saturday. He asked me if I'm going to any games that weekend. I said, yeah, I think I'm going to Hawthorn Sydney. And he said, yeah, I think I'm going to that too. And then I guess on Saturday, I knew I was definitely going to the game. I told him that I definitely was, and he said, yeah, I am too. I was like, should we meet up beforehand? He said, yeah, we should. It got to Sunday. I was like, hey, so what time? Where do you want to meet up? Whereabouts are you sitting? What gate do you want to meet up at? Or whatever. He said gate 1. I was like, fuck, you're at the other side of the ground. Turns out we were actually really close. He got it wrong. It was gate 4 that he was at, not gate 1. He said he was sitting in the Hawks cheer squad. I realised I was close to him when I got to my seat and I saw the Hawks cheer squad 2 sections to my left. He wanted to meet me like pretty early on, but I knew I wasn't going to get there in time because I was with other people and it's out of my control because they wanted to leave later or whatever. And also we're trying to figure out the train thing. So yeah, Cardi wanted to meet me at 2:30. I thought I was going to get there at 3, but I got there at like 3:20. So yeah, it was pretty late. But I didn't think I was going to end up meeting him after that. So I was like, oh, it's all good. I'll just meet him another time or meet another YouTuber another time. And yeah, halftime came. You know, well, I told him, you know, before the game started, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to you, mate. I'm just to the right of the cheer squad. And then that halftime came, Cardi's like, yeah, I think I'm really close to you. You know, I'm actually standing right on top of your section because I told him what section I was in. I was like, really? I'm like, okay. Well, he said, I'm going to get a drink. And I'm like, all right. I was like, should I come up? And he goes, yeah, if you want. So basically, I was like, I've never met someone off the internet before. I mean, it's pretty easy for you people in Melbourne to do that, but like, I've never done it before. So I was like, holy shit. What if Cardi was actually some psychopath with a knife and he was like setting me up to murder me or something? I knew that wouldn't happen, you know. I knew Cardi wouldn't do that, but yeah, it was halftime. They were doing Lance Franklin's farewell. So he was like walking around the MCG. I filmed it, put it on YouTube. So I did that like while I was talking to Cardi on Instagram. I did that. I stopped filming. Then, you know, I walked up the steps. I was sitting in like the 5th row in that game. So I was pretty close to the front. I was in a decent spot. So it took me a while, obviously, to walk up. I got up to the top. I had a little look around. And then, you know, to my left, I saw Cardi walking in my direction. And he knew it was me straight away. You know, I'm pretty recognizable. So it was just a quick, hey, how's it going? You know, shoot each other's hand, that sort of thing. And, you know, we talked a little bit about the footy. You know, he asked me, how am I finding Melbourne? And I'm like, pretty good. And that sort of thing. You know, Cardi told me he thought he'd seen me earlier. I asked him, well, what am I wearing? And he said, you're wearing Richmond stuff, which was correct. I was wearing a Richmond jumper. So yeah, I asked him if he wanted to take a selfie because, you know, I doubted anyone would believe that, you know, I actually met up with him, you know. So I got my phone out, took the selfie, you know, and then he said, I want to take one from my phone. So he did that. And then I guess he went back to his seat and, you know, I went to take a piss and then I went back to my seat just in time for the second half. So yeah, Cardi was a pretty cool guy. So yeah, it was good to meet him. And yeah, I am keen to meet other AFL YouTubers or viewers at the footy or wherever at some point this season. That would be good. I did try and meet a former YouTuber as well. You know, I asked him if he was going to the game. He wasn't sure if he was. I don't think he ended up going. But, you know, I did end up going to the suburb he used to live in and I actually went past his current suburb where he lived to get to that suburb. Game finishes, I go home on the train. Well, not home, but at the Airbnb I was staying at. On the train, and yeah, yes, go to bed or whatever. And then, you know, next day is Monday, and, you know, the next few days aren't very interesting. It's basically just me, you know, on those days I was out looking for jobs pretty much. So that's basically all I was doing. And then Friday came. On Friday, it was Collingwood versus Carlton. I tried to get tickets for that game, but, you know, couldn't get any tickets, so I ended up watching it, having a few beers. And, you know, Collingwood won, so that was pretty good as well to see that because I got that tip correct. On Saturday, it was a lot more eventful, but I didn't go to any games of footy. You know, I kind of wanted to, but I had to see family. Now, that family lived all the way out in Langwarrin, which is like southeast of Melbourne. It was a 1.5 hour fucking drive there. So 1.5 hours there, another 1.5 hours back. So it was a big day. It was a full day thing. Left about 1 o'clock-ish. Yeah, I thought about going to St Kilda, North Melbourne, because I thought I'd be able to meet other YouTubers there, like Cardi would be there, you'd think. Scoops would definitely be there, you'd think. But I couldn't because I had this other commitment. So, went there, actually drove past Marvel Stadium while the St Kilda North Melbourne game was going on. Then went home, watched it on TV. So, yeah. I visited family, I guess, that I hadn't seen in like 10 years now. I actually went to Melbourne in 2008, and that, family members that I visited had a dog in 2008. And I was shocked when I saw that dog again, 2024, 16 years later. The dog's 17 years old, like, holy shit. I was amazed it was still alive. But yeah, I was there for a few hours, had, an early dinner / late lunch, whatever you want to call it. Went back to the Airbnb, watched St Kilda versus North Melbourne. I guess could have went to Geelong versus Melbourne if I wanted to, but didn't really feel like it. I was going to the footy the next day anyway. So instead just had some beers, that sort of thing. Chilled, watched Geelong versus Melbourne, which, I was pretty happy with the result there because I got that tip correct as well. And the people I was with were like, nah, Geelong's winning this. I'm like, no, they're not. And they're all like, some of them were like, Port Adelaide's beating Adelaide. I'm like, no, they're not. And it was pretty fun getting all these tips correct on them. But yeah, the next day was the day of Richmond versus Fremantle. Now, I didn't meet anyone at this game and no one recognised me at this game. I was pretty shocked. I thought someone would recognise me at least, whether it be a hater or something like that. If anyone did recognise me, they certainly never bothered coming up to me, or they never, have mentioned it on social media. Yeah, I was near the Richmond cheer squad. Like, I was on the forward pocket again, but I was on the other forward pocket to where I was for the Hawthorn Sydney game. You can actually see me pretty clearly in the crowd after the Luke Jackson behind in the second quarter. I put a photo of it up on the screen, so yeah, you can see me there. That's the only time you can really see me clearly, because I was in the second row of that game. But the only way you would probably see me is if a player was just happened to be running past towards me and the camera was on them, or if someone shanked it, kicked it out in the full. I thought that I would definitely be on TV when Jai Amiss hit the point post. The ball went into the crowd and a lady basically right behind me, about 2 rows back, got the ball. So yeah, I thought I'd definitely be in the crowd then, but I wasn't. They didn't show that. They just put the camera back on Amiss after he fucking missed. But yeah, I could see myself, but not very clearly, quite a lot of times. But anyone that was watching the game wouldn't have noticed me. And, chances are no one would have noticed me and saw me in the crowd on TV, unless you're really paying attention just at that one time where you could actually clearly see me in the crowd. The Richmond versus Gold Coast game in 2018 where Jack Rowe kicked 10, you could see me in the crowd heaps. Heaps of times. I was right behind the goals on the right-hand side of the screen. You could see me a lot of times in that one pretty clearly. But yeah, it was a shit game. As you guys know, I've done the match review on it. You guys can check that out on my backup channel. I left after a Keenan McIntosh goal, at least leaving on a high sort of thing. The ball was inside our forward 50. I was sitting at the other end to where we were kicking in the last quarter, but it was inside our forward 50 for quite a bit. I was like, come on, just kick one more goal so I can get out of here. And that's what they did eventually. So yeah, got out of there and walked to a pub. I think it's called the Cricketers something pub. There's like no pokies there. It's basically just a footy pub where I guess guys go after the game to have beers. A lot of Richmond supporters there. Had some good chats with people there. The thing is about Melbourne pubs is I thought there'd be a lot of hostility in the pubs. Maybe it's because it was a interstate game and there wasn't very many Fremantle supporters in there. There were a few that had like Fremantle gear on there, but there was no like arguing, starting fights, that sort of thing, because most people were Richmond supporters. There were a few soccer people in there for some reason, but most people were Richmond supporters. It was a good vibe. Everyone was happy. There was no bullshit. Like when you go to a pub in my fucking hometown, all you can hear is people arguing with each other, threatening to fucking beat the shit out of each other. It's just full-on fights. That's why I'm not a huge fan of going to the pub these days anymore, at least, because the atmosphere is just shit. Just a lot of fuckwits go there. But the atmosphere at this pub was fantastic. It'll be interesting to see, like, if I go to that pub after, say, a Richmond versus Collingwood game, whether Richmond win or lose, I wonder what it'll be like there. Hopefully it's not super hostile there. Hopefully, like, both oppositions are respectful towards each other no matter the result, sort of thing. But yeah, it was a pretty chill pub. They had the footy on, that sort of thing. So yeah, went in there, had a few beers, had a massive headache at the end because I hadn't drank anything since like 9 o'clock. I didn't get any drinks at the game or anything like that. Don't know why, I just didn't feel like it, I guess. So I already had a headache before I even went to the pub. So yeah, like I felt like shit when I got home. You know, other than the shit game, it was a pretty good day. You know, at the pub, that was probably my favourite part. And the fact that, you know, I was sitting in the second row watching Richmond play. You know, it was my first MCG Richmond game. I've never been to a Richmond game at the MCG. I've only been to the Gabba and Metricon. So first ever time I've actually watched my team play a home game, so live. So that's pretty insane if you think about it. Yeah, I felt like shit when I got home. I guess I had dinner. Yeah, I got Domino's before I got home. Got Domino's, and I want to say the food in Melbourne is not as good as here. Like the only thing my shithole town has on Melbourne, well, not necessarily food in general, but just Domino's and kebabs. That's the only thing my shithole town has on Melbourne. There's a lot of good burger. I had a really good burger in Melbourne. I can't remember what it was called. There was some burger place that was really good. KFC there is also really good as well. Not as good as the Gold Coast, but still a lot better. I had KFC once, only because it just happened to be in the fucking mall I was in at the time. But yeah, Domino's disappointed me. I had Domino's twice. I had it once. I had it delivered. It cost like $63 for fucking 3 pizzas. No, I didn't eat 3 pizzas. Other people were there and ate a pizza. I only had 1 pizza. Fuckwits. But yeah, it was very disappointing. The fucking like crust was like really thin and just bent when you picked it up, and the toppings just came off. It was very disappointing. So, you know, after the Richmond game, I ended up going to the Domino's, you know, not getting it delivered. I actually went there myself. Yeah, the Domino's was walking distance from where I was staying. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. But I went in there. It was pretty quick, actually. Only took about 10 minutes. But I will admit, the garlic bread was solid. I had garlic bread this time. It was pretty decent, you know, as good as my shithole hometown. But, you know, the pizza was better than last time, but it still wasn't that good. So it was disappointing, you know. Domino's is shit in Melbourne compared to my shithole hometown. When it comes to kebabs, oh, fuck. My hometown, every kebab shop is good, okay? They're all good. But in Melbourne, I could not find a good kebab shop. Well, I only had 2 kebabs. I can't remember where I had my first kebab. I think it was in a place called Merrifield. And I thought of Dave Merrifield, that fuckwit that used to harass me back in the day when I went there. Like the chicken and all that, it tasted good, but it was just like the bread was shit. It wasn't even toasted. And like in my shithole town, it's in a wrap, and it's toasted and it's good. But there, it just wasn't toasted and it was just bread. But at least it kept the, you know, kebab together. All right, it kept the kebab together. But then I went to a kebab in Calcalo. It's right next to the Domino's I went to as well, funnily enough. And that kebab was not good. You know, the chicken, it tasted good. The shit inside tasted good, but it was also wrapped. It wasn't in a wrap. It was fucking bread again. Not only that, the bread just fell fucking apart. They wrapped it in like elf oil or whatever the fuck you call it. So I had to unwrap that. And as soon as I unwrapped it, you know, I was like, what the fuck is this? And yeah, basically chicken and shit just dropped out of the fucking thing. It was a nightmare to eat. It didn't taste terrible, the chicken and all that, but the bread wasn't that good. Wasn't toasted either. So yeah. Unfortunately for Melbourne, it's an L for Domino's and kebabs, but everything else is a massive W, I will admit. That's why I really want to fucking go to Melbourne. Just going there for 2 weeks has made me even more excited to go there because I know how much better it is than this shithole. But yeah, after Sunday, it wasn't very eventful. I stayed there another 4 days, you know, kept, you know, looking at what jobs were out there and that sort of thing. So yeah, came back Thursday, you know, I'm back at work today. So yeah, I guess that's my Melbourne trip. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. If any AFL YouTubers want to meet me when I move down to Melbourne, let me know. just message me on Instagram, whatever, write a comment. Whether it's at the footy or somewhere else. I'm more than happy to, as long as you're respectful, of course. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, more like this. Be sure to subscribe to my premium Sean Ducks. Link to his channel is in the description. I'm surprised he stayed a premium member during this time, so that's 100% appreciate Sean Ducks for that. You know, he didn't have to do it, but he did it. So please subscribe to his channel because he definitely does deserve it. Also, be sure to subscribe to my backup channel in case, you know, this channel gets another fucking strike. Also, be sure to subscribe to my second YouTube channel, it's called Stoody Archives. Link to those channels are also in the description. Also, be sure to join my Discord server, it's called Australian Sports Community. Link to that will also be in the description. Also, be sure to follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Instagram, I have Twitter, and I also have TikTok. The username for all those is StoodyYT, and links to all those will also be in the description. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all in the next video.